Oh, cool. All right, guys, good morning. It's a beautiful 6:30 a.m. Mountain Time here in the Northwest Territories. We have a beautiful Yang Yin class this morning. It's a 45-minute class. And I'm sure some of you have practiced Yin before, and maybe some of you haven't. It could be a new concept for you. I'm just going to close this window. It's open. Did I want to get rid of it? There we go. So just a brief little information for this morning's class if you just checked in. For the Yin portion of our class, even the Yang, if sometimes you feel like you want props, you are more than welcome to use the props. So what I have for this morning is 2 blocks. It is not necessary. And if you're panicking, like, I don't have blocks at home, you can even grab 2 books or even 2 cushions. So like I said, it's not necessary. It's not going to affect your whole practice if you don't have the props. And it shouldn't really affect it too much if you don't have the props. If you do, it can help, like I said, with a couple of the poses we have towards the end. So the reason it's called a Yang Yin class is a lot of you have probably heard of Yin, and it seems like a Yin or Yin yoga has just come out within the last 20 or so years, but Yin is actually probably the oldest kind of traditional practices with India and Taoist ways, but it's become very popular within the last 20 to 30 years because there's been more scientific backing on Yin. So Yin is a practice where we dig deep into the connective tissue, our fascia. And our fascia is all throughout our body. It basically is like our little blanket, I don't know, our web that holds everything together. So even if you think of it as a spider web, it's that's the way I teach it to like the teens and stuff, is it's a spider web. And when the spider web gets dry and brittle, it breaks. So we want to keep that web nice and moist so it is pliable, so it expands and then goes back to its natural shape, like a sponge. Actually, wet sponge, you wring it, let go of it, it goes back to its natural shape. So we want to protect our fascia, we want to take care of it, because the moment we're not taking care of it, reasons we probably feel tight a lot is because our fascia is not being worked and taken care of to allow that spongy, webby formation go back and forth with no destruction, I guess I should say. There's 4 schools of thoughts to Yin. There's the Yin practice with no props at all. There's the Yin practice with props, and that's to help get out of or not have discomfort. So you're tucking things in places so you take that discomfort away. And little hint, we actually want discomfort in Yin, but not pain. So that's a whole other conversation. The other school of thought is hot yoga, hot Yin yoga. And what's great about hot Yin yoga, you are in a hot room, so your fascia is being able to expand and everything move easier, sometimes even without a warm up. And then there's our 4th school of thought, which is power Yin. And basically it's working the body back and forth, doing some powerful poses or strength and mobility, and then going into a Yin pose. Another strength mobility, going into a Yin pose, because that's keeping the fascia warm. So if it's something that interests you, I would do a lot of research on Yin, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I'm learning it more and more every day. So you'll notice with my Yin poses, we're only going to hold them for 2 minutes. Yeah, I know, Nancy. It is interesting. There's a lot of misinformation out there. If you want to look up a gentleman, his name is John Barnes. He's kind of the god of myofascial release. And you guys are probably hearing more and more that massage therapists and chiropractors, a lot of people are starting to incorporate this into helping patients. And it is phenomenal. So again, if you want more information on that, let me know. We are going to get started with our practice. So we're actually going to start, I don't know why I'm holding the blocks. So come to seated cross-legged position if you aren't already. So for our practice this morning, our first full portion of our class is Yang. We're warming up the muscles. We're getting everything nice and moving, especially in the morning where we haven't moved a lot. We want to make sure that we have a nice warmth. Wow, I can't find the words this morning, but we want our body warm, before we move into the yin poses. I want you to think about it like, especially a lot of us that are here north, when you go to start a car and it's minus 30 outside, you're not going to start it and then just drive down the road, right? You want to let it warm up and then drive her away. That's what we want to do here. We want to warm up the body, warm up the fascia, and then drive away, hold those poses. So I came up with that analogy this morning. I'm like, I like that one. So, all right, so sitting cross-legged, hands are resting on the legs for a second. We're just going to connect with the breath just to make sure we're all there with our breath. So you're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Breath in, breath out. So I'll always be guiding you to breathe in and out of the nose. There will be other points I do get you to breathe out of the mouth. It's more some with our prana exercise or practices. But most of the time, in and out of the nose. If you lose that and you find it easier through the mouth, no judgment. You do what works for you. So allow those shoulders to relax. Your eyes can be closed or a nice soft gaze, forward, slightly down. We're going to make our way into tabletop. So coming onto the hands and knees, I will turn sideways. So in a simple tabletop, there's always these choices on where we can have things lined up, but I really want you to take a moment here to see where your alignment is. Seeing if you can bring those wrists in line with the shoulders, and then create this like spider grip of the fingers so that you're taking pressure off the wrists. With my knees, I have them in line with my hips, and I have my feet untucked, and that's because I like to get a gentle push into the mat. Some of us like to have them tucked underneath, but here I'm actually engaging my legs and pushing, creating energy. We're going to move into a cat and cow. So you're going to exhale first. Inhale, come into your cow, you're looking forward. Exhale, bring the chin in towards the chest, tucking the hips underneath, or sit bones, I should say. Let's do 3 more of those. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Breath out. 1 more. Inhale. Now on this exhalation, let's hold the cat just a little bit. I want you to take a moment for yourself. See if you have a nice rounding of the upper back so you feel like your shoulder blades are being pulled up towards the sky. Remember that spider grip into the fingers, bringing those sit bones tucked under, and then come back to table. We're going to move into a nice, more of a gentle flow this morning to, I don't want to call it a flow, it's just moving from pose to pose, but we're doing like a little bit simplified, you could call it a sun salutation. I'm just going from a downward dog, table, child's pose. So right now we're in, oh my gosh, told you, brain farts this morning. We are in tabletop this morning. I want you to tuck the toes underneath and come up into your downward dog. Yep, you're feeling it. You're like, why are you right away? I'm like, I want you to feel the difference between our downward dog when we're not as warm to where we're going to be going eventually. With your downward dog, remember that spider grip with the fingers, take that pressure off the wrists. I want you to send those heels down towards the ground, but remember, it doesn't mean they have to touch. My head's coming through my arms because I'm able to do that. If your head is unable to do that, don't judge yourself. Maybe someday it will happen, or maybe your shoulder joints are like, no, I'm not built that way, so don't force it. Then you're going to choose where you want the placement of those legs and feet. Some people like to have them that hip width apart. Some people like to have them together. So we're going to start with that like little sequence I was telling you about. So first, exhale. Inhale, table. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, table. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, table. Exhale, child. You got 3 more. Table. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, table. Exhale, downward dog. Oh yeah, inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, table. Exhale, child. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more, guys. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to table. You're going to tuck those toes underneath and come back into a downward dog. So this is where we're going to add a little bit of strength and mobility. We're going to move into plank pose. So what's going to happen, if you need to readjust the feet, if you're noticing your feet are too close, or if you want them a little bit further apart, because what we're going to do is we're going to shift the body to a plank. So make sure your sit bones are dipping down. You can have a little bit upness, but not too much. What I want is you to have those hands anchored, and we want a little bit of your sit bones or your glutes are a little bit higher than your lower back because we want to protect the lower back. I'm pushing into the mat. So I don't know if you can see it, but I actually have a little bit more rounding in the upper back because I'm spreading the shoulder blades apart and protecting that upper back and shoulder joints. If you need the knees down, please, 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 please bring those knees down. If you have sore wrists, you can come down onto the mat eventually with the forearms or, fists, all right? All right, so we're in that plank. Now we're going to shoot back to downward dog. Now, on your next breath in, we're coming into a 3-legged dog with the right foot. So first, anchor that left foot down, heel being sent down to the ground. You're going to inhale, right leg up behind you. Here comes the fun part. Bend the right knee, shift forward to your plank, and bring the right knee towards the armpit, the elbow, the wrist. Shoot back, 3-legged. Now we're going to bring that right foot between the hands. Remember, if you need to drop that left knee down because it's hard to bring that right leg forward, you can bring the left knee down and then step the right leg forward. We're going to come into a low lunge. So we can have a teeny movement of bounce here. I don't mean bounce like crazy because, again, you don't want to just jump into stuff, right? That back toe can be tucked or the toes can be untucked. So a nice deep lunge, low lunge. Nice smooth breath. If that back foot is, I told you I can't talk this morning. If that back foot is untucked, tuck it, come up, and you're making your way into a warrior 2. Yes, I'm facing backwards, but that's okay. So arms are extended. Fingers pulling in either direction. If your arms are tired this morning, they can come to the hips. Feet are pushing, so my right toes are pushing towards the front of my mat. The outer edge of my left foot is being pushed towards the back part of the mat. Relax those shoulders. Smooth breath. Moving into side angle pose. You're going to, on a breath in, bring that front forearm down. You're going to round that left arm down and around. And the reason I always guide you that way is because it's easier on the shoulder joint. Try it. Try to go backwards. See where it stops. But if you come down and around, it comes more in ease. So we can hang out here on the front thigh, or you can bring the hand down to the floor. You can even add a fist. If you do have a bind in your practice and you want to try to go into your bind, you can. I'm not warm enough right now, so I don't want to move into my bind this morning. Nice smooth breath. On your next breath in, bring both hands down. You have support on the mat. Turn that back heel up, bring that knee down. We're going to come into a revolving twist. So there's 2 ways to do this. You can bring the left hand in beside the foot. We've kind of done it before, and you can lift that back knee and extend that right arm up. Or you can bring the left arm on the outside of the right leg. You can have prayer hands. You can bring that back knee up. You can even open up the arms. You can keep the neck in line with the spine, or you can rotate. But make sure you're breathing. Do 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in and breath out. On your next breath in, bring both hands down to the inside of that right foot. Bring that back knee down. Untuck the toes. Let's come into that lunge one more time. And you'll probably be noticing you might be able to kind of sink a little bit deeper into that lunge. Yeah, if your knee is coming over that right ankle, guess what? That's okay. That's a whole other conversation we can get into later. And then we're going to make our way back into a 3-legged dog. So I'm going to anchor both my hands down, lift my left knee up, and I'm going to shoot my right leg back. And then come down to a full downward dog. If you need to take a little bit of a break right here, please never question yourself on that. If you want to hang out in downward dog a little bit longer, or go into child's pose, or grab a glass of water, or a sip of water, or a glass of water, or if you're like me, I have my coffee. So now you know, you can feel all these sensations on the right side. We need to bring balance to the left side. So what I mean about that, whatever we do on the right, we want to equal that on the left, all right? So from your downward dog, anchor your right heel down. You're going to inhale, left leg up behind you. Remember, we came into that plank with the knee going to the armpit, the elbow, and the wrist. We're going to do that with the left leg. Bend the left leg, bring it forward to the left armpit, left elbow, left wrist. Then shoot that leg back behind you. And then on and a breath in, bring that left foot between the hands. Make your way into that low lunge. See if you notice a difference coming into the lunge on the left side from where it felt on the right side. You're going to tuck the back toe, rotate that back foot, and make your way up to warrior 2. Again, if you feel at this point you need to readjust the distance of the feet and the legs, take that time. Remember, we want that right foot, or sorry, left, being pulled forward. The outer edge of my right foot is being pushed down, and as if I'm trying to pull my mat apart, actually. Relax the shoulders. On your next breath in, front forearm down, rotate right arm up and around. Side angle pose. So from here, hanging out on the thigh, or you can bring that hand down to the mat. Remember, if you want the option of the bind, if that's something you want to do, please move into it. But like I said, for myself, I know my body's just not there this morning, so I'm just going to stay right here. Smooth breath. On your next breath in, gently bring that right hand down. So both hands are on the mat. Turn that right heel up. Gently bring that right knee down to the mat. We're coming into that revolving twist. So remember those options to set up into it. You're going to bring the right hand close to the left foot. You're going to bring that left arm up. And if you want, you can bring that right knee up. If you want to go further in the twist, remember, you can bring that right arm onto the outside of the left leg. Have prayer hands, open up. You can even bring that right knee up off the mat. If the right knee's up off the mat, send the heel towards the back wall, and you'll feel a deeper stretch if you want in that back right leg, plus going for my Put in my pelvis on my right side. Oh, there's our star, Mr. Teague. Come on down. And we are going to shoot back that three-legged dog. Thanks, buddy. We already had our walk this morning. Oh, yeah. Make your way into downward dog. Bring those knees down to the mat, into table. We're going to move into that cat and cow again. So first exhale through the mouth. Now through the nose, inhale, cow. Telling you, he loves the spotlight. Exhale, curl it in. Chin in towards the chest. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Breath in. And breath out. So we're warmed up. We're going to move into our yin poses. You just want to kind of sway side to side. It feels good. And then we're going to get ready for our first pose. So our first yin pose. So our first yin pose is called uneasy sitting pose or uneasy pose. So you're going to come back to your sit bones. You're going to slide off your heels and you're going to extend your legs out in front of you. This is the one I was saying that if you want the aid of blocks, you can. If you want. If not, it's okay. So I'm going to take my left leg, bend it, but I'm not bringing it all the way in to my pelvis. I actually have it a little bit further out. And why I'm doing that is giving me more room that when I bring my right leg up and cross over. Ooh, I am tight this morning. Woohoo. So I'm bringing the right foot close to my left knee. My right leg is floating this morning, like my knee. So in some yin practices, they was like, oh, that's discomforting. You don't want discomfort. Put the block underneath. For the practice that I usually follow, I actually want that discomfort because I want the fascia to become more pliable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring those blocks in front of me and my hands are on them, turning sideways. And you can stay here. This might be enough for some of you. For some, you might want to come into a fold. So I'm just resting my hands on blocks. We're holding this for 2 minutes. So I want you just to breathe in and out of the nose. Remember, don't worry if a leg is far up or down. Please just listen to where that body wants to go. Do not force it to do anything. Do not continue something if it's painful. So there's something that didn't make sense for this morning's class. Send me a message and I can help you out also. But you'll notice the longer you hold these poses, even though it's for 2 minutes, you may sink a little, you might have to readjust. So already I'm feeling that I can change my blocks and come a little bit further forward. Allow your face to relax. If you're noticing you've got a creases in the forehead, soften it. If you're still in where the torso isn't coming down and you are feeling it from here, you can even have just hands gently on the legs if you just need that little support on the legs. I'm allowing myself to sink deeper because my body's allowing me to release a little bit further. We have just 10 seconds left. So if you are coming forward, even if the hands are placed on the ground, just giving yourself a little bit of oomph, walk those hands back to bring the torso up. What I want you to do is take that right hand, put it underneath the right leg, lift it. So we want support and we want to extend that leg out and then slowly extend the left. Okay, so for most of us, we're probably feeling that within the right hip going down the outside lateral side of the right leg. We're just going to slowly rock side to side, see if we can bring centering to the sit bones. I forgot to guide that on the first side. I'm sorry. Now we have to do the other side. You're going to notice one side was way easier than the other. So you're going to bend that right leg. Remember, do not bring it all the way into the groin. We want to have that little bit of a room, like a little diamond, and then bring the left over. Woohoo! Yeah. So figure out, this might be enough. You can start crawling forward, and we're going to start the time now. So 2 minutes. If you've been to other yin practices, they'll tell you lay still, don't do anything kind of thing. Some teachers, I'll keep reminding you, if you need to readjust, if you need to go a little bit deeper, or if you're not feeling something, take this time within the 2 minutes to find where you need to go. So you'll notice on the first side, I just kept lowering because my body, my fascia, was slowly extending and releasing. You want that jaw to soften. So if you feel like you're clenching, part those back teeth. If the eyes are open and you feel like you're just like straining, try to see if you can make your eyes soften. We're almost there, guys. We have about 30 seconds. Remember that breathing in and out of the nose. Almost there. If you're in the forward fold, you're going to slowly walk those hands back. We do not want to come into these fast. You're going to take the left hand, place it gently under the left leg, hold the left foot, gently lift, and then extend that left leg out, and then extend the right leg. Oh, yeah. Gentle shake. So our next pose is Supta Baddha Konasana, which is our reclined butterfly. So just slowly, I'm going to bring my sit bones forward and just guiding my back, my spine down onto the mat. From here, I'm just going to make sure that my back is connecting the full length of my spine. And then I'm going to bring my feet connected, the palms of my feet connected. And I'm actually going to stay right here. So I can feel stuff going on in pelvis and groin, the anterior portion of my thigh and hamstring. And we're going to stay right here. Now, if it's too intense with the legs floating, there's some of us that can actually get the legs down. There's days that my knees are touching the ground. Not today. My body's like, no, not yet. Remember, nice smooth breath in and out of the nose. I can tell for myself, I'm just going to walk my feet a little bit further in because I wasn't feeling that discomfort anymore. My fascia wasn't being targeted. At these points too, you can really reflect on what's going on in your head. And I'm a firm believer that if your mind wants to wander, please don't get stressed and worried about it. So many people, some of you have already heard me say this before, there's so misrepresentation that you're not allowed to think during your yoga practice. This is the time to see what's going on in the mind. So don't stress over the fact if your mind's wandering, hey, what do I need to do at work today? Take a moment, recognize what you're thinking, and then come back to the breath. We are almost there to our 2 minutes. You're going to slowly extend those legs, lots of control. Another way is to bring those knees up together and then extend the legs. So you do what feels right for you. And you should be laying with those legs extended. Our last yin pose that we're going to move into, we have to do each side. It's called Bananasana. I'm sure a few of you have done it before. I'm just going to clear the blocks out of my way. So Bananasana is going to target the lateral sides of the body, which is the exterior side parts of the body. So we're going to start with the right side. So you're going to slide your right hip to the outer side of the right of your mat. So I'm doing the first one just so you can see which way I'm going. So my legs and feet are together. For some of us, that's not possible. So if your legs don't want to come together, just go what's comfortable with the body, even if it's hip width apart. So I'm laying down. My arms I'm bringing overhead. And for some of you, your arms may be floating here. So this might be another part where you feel like you need some support with those arms. You can put a blanket behind you or those blocks. But my arms come all the way down. And I can even extend, oops, almost got rid of the coffee there. Extend the arms overhead. You're going to walk or shimmy over the legs to the left side of your mat. So I'm creating a banana shape with my body, or you want to think about a crescent moon. Now my upper body, I'm going to add to the top of my banana. And now I'm going to relax. With my right hip, I don't want it coming up, so I'm starting to turn on the mat. I want to keep that right hip down. So for some of us, our banana might not be as curved. For some of us, I have some students that can actually walk their legs way over to the side. What's really nice in some classes is you can have sandbags, and they'll put the sandbags on the lower portion of your shins, which will give a nice anchoring feeling. And you can feel more of a stretch on that left side. So you're probably noticing now we have this beautiful stretch, sorry, not left, on the right side of the body, and you have compression on the left. It feels so good. And you're like, well, for some of you, you're like, well, I can't really feel it, or it's all right. Some are like, this is intense. If it's painful, just bring the legs and arms back a teeny bit. If it feels like you have tension where the muscle is being pulled, which means your fascia is going to get targeted, you're in the right spot. Sometimes I get carried away with Bananasana, and I forget what time I started into Bananasana because it feels so good, I lose track of time. So if I lost track of time, I apologize. We're going to hold this for 30 more seconds. You may notice you're able to curve yourself a little bit further. We're getting there. Just so you know, when we come out of Bananasana, don't just quickly bring your body back in alignment. We're going to slowly, right now, bring those legs, sliding them across, little tiptoeing of the legs across, back, so they're in line with the hips, and then the upper body. Then just release the arms down for a moment. It may be one of my favorite yin poses. Now you're going to scoot yourself over to the left side of your mat. So my hips are lined up. My left hip is lined up on the outside of or on the edge of my left side of the mat. I've told you, I can't talk this morning. You're gonna bring your arms overhead. Remember, if you need that support for the arms to come down on, you can put it there. You're gonna bring those legs to the right side, and then the upper body curve. I'm going to pay attention to the time this time. Sorry, guys. All right, settle yourself in. 3, 2, 1, and enjoy. Remember, at any point, if you feel like you can bring the legs a little bit further or the upper body, making sure that that left shoulder stays down. You're not coming up on that outside body. We want connection onto the mat. Getting beautiful lateral stretch on the left, compression on the right. You still have 1.5 minutes to go. Allow the face to relax. Softening the face. You feel like you're tensing up. Remember to readjust if you need to. Recognize the thoughts that are going on. If you want to put a little smile on the face, smile. It's amazing the shift in our thoughts when we go from a straight face and just bringing those corners of the mouth up. The ease into the muscles in our face. We're going to slowly start bringing that body back in a nice straight line. Upper body, releasing those arms. And we, from here, are moving into final relaxation. So you're going to have those legs extended, feet pointed towards the bottom corners of the mat, arms extended about a 45-degree angle from the body. Remember that option, palms up or palms down. If there's some little bit of discomfort in that lower back and the lumbar spine, please feel free to bring a bend to the knees, or if you do have a pillow or blanket that you want to place underneath the knees, just to give a little bit of ease into that lower back. And close the eyes. We're going to move into our tense and release portion right before we go into full relaxation mode. You're going to inhale, exhale, inhale, tense everything up, and release. Inhale, tense, and release. Last one, inhale, and release. And relax. Relax. Allowing the point where you actually are not holding on to yourself on your mat. So the back corners of the body connect. It's almost as if you're pretending that your yoga mat, your grounding is sand, and you're on the beach and your body's just sinking into it. And then bringing your point of attention into the feet, the ankles, the legs. Bringing the awareness into the lower extremities to see if any sensations, warmth. They're relaxed. Moving into your hips, your buttocks, and your full back. Relax. Moving around to your belly and your chest are relaxed. Hands, wrists, and arms, recognizing any sensations, elasticity, that beautiful work into the fascia, relaxed. The shoulders, the neck, and the jaw are relaxed. The tongue, the eyes, and forehead are relaxed. Your whole body is sinking into that sand on that beautiful beach with the sun beaming down on you. Relaxed. And just breathe. Taking these moments, connecting with your full body. Where did this practice take you this morning? Where did it allow you to connect with the physical body? Little points you weren't aware of before. How about the mental body, the thoughts, and also the emotional state? Where are you now compared to the beginning of the class? Slowly start wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers. Bringing small movements to the wrists of the ankles. You can even do a gentle sway of the feet side to side if you want to move gentle movement into the legs. Then you can even turn the head side to side. Nice, slow, no motion. Then allowing that neck to come back in line with the spine. Bring the legs and feet together, and then bring those arms overhead if you want. Give yourself that nice stretch from the fingers all the way down to the toes. Oh yeah, feels good. Releasing those arms down. Bending those knees gently, turning onto your side to the fetal position. Just chillax here for a moment. And if you don't have to go to work like most of us, you can even stay here if you want or roll back to Shavasana. From your fetal position, you're going to push your way up gently, coming to a seated cross-leg position, Sukhasana. Find that centering on the sit bones, allowing those shoulders to relax down from the ears. Seeing if you can bring the spine as straight, comfortably straight, as I would like to say, as possible, where you have a nice ease of the breath. If you're able to, allow those eyes to close if they've opened up. Feel all the energy radiating through your body. You can bring those hands together. We're going to do that beautiful friction. So to rubbing the hands, creating that warmth and energy, and then placing them over your closed eyes and open up the eyes with the hands over them. Soak it all in. Releasing the hands from the eyes. Then inhale, arms up. Steeple hands, so interlace fingers, except for those index fingers are pointing up. So I'm up, but then I'm going to pull my shoulders down. I'm going to inhale, then exhale over to the right. Inhale up, exhale over to the left. Inhale up, bringing that right hand down to the mat. I'm going to exhale. Inhale up, switch. Bring that left hand down, right arm is extended. Exhale. And then inhale back up. And those palms in front of the heart, Anjuli Mudra, just beautiful connection of the hands pushing against each other gently. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. If you have any questions in regards to this practice or the other two we've done already, please feel free to contact me. Namaste Kala. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Thank you. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. You're welcome, Maggie. See you later, hon. You're welcome, Kara. Have a great one, sweetie. You're welcome, you, sir. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Delicious. Love it. Have a great one, sweetie.